Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Podcast English Learning. I'm your guide for these linguistic adventures.
And hello from me, your English expert for today's session.
Great to be here. Great to have you. Okay, so let's jump right in. We're tackling a really common question today, something I hear all the time. You understand English pretty well, right? You can watch movies, maybe follow podcasts like this one, but then when it's actually your turn to speak, poof, your mind just goes blank.
Yeah, that feeling is incredibly familiar to so many learners.
Does that sound like you? Well,
Yeah.
you are definitely not alone. Today, we're diving deep into why this happens, and maybe more importantly, we're going to give you 6 simple, really powerful tips to help you start speaking more confidently, more fluently. So many of you, our curious learners, might be nodding along right now thinking, yes, that's exactly my problem. You feel, I don't know, passive when you're listening, just taking information in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating here from a learning perspective is that understanding English and speaking English are actually quite different skills. They use different parts of your brain, different processes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
when you understand, you're often passive, like you said.
Yeah.
Your brain is just receiving information, decoding it. You just need to recognize the meaning, basically.
Right.
But speaking, oh, that's active, really active. You need to juggle a lot of things all at once.
Like what?
Well, you have to think of the right words, organize your ideas on the fly, form grammatically correct sentences, use the correct sounds, the pronunciation, and do it all in real time pretty quickly.
Wow, yeah, when you list it like that, it sounds like a lot more work.
It is. And this connects right to the core issue. It raises a big question. Why does this gap happen? And the truth is, well, most learners simply don't practice the speaking part enough,
Even if they do grammar exercises or watch movies.
especially then. Speaking is a skill, just like cooking or learning to swim or playing the guitar. You only get better by actually doing it, not just by thinking about it or watching others do it well. It really is about using your voice.
Okay, so now that we've kind of unpacked the difference between passive understanding and active speaking, here's where it gets really interesting. We've got 6 simple tips, strategies really, to help you start using your voice in English every single day and build up that speaking confidence. Ready to jump into the first one?
Let's do it.
All right, tip number 1. Don't wait for perfect grammar. I think many of us wait, right? We have this thought, oh, I'll speak when my grammar is perfect. But that can make us wait forever.
This is such a crucial point.
Yeah.
Honestly, it might be the biggest barrier for many. You absolutely do not need perfect grammar to speak effectively. What you need is to be clear enough for the other person to understand you. That's the goal. Communication.
Clear enough. Can you give an example?
Sure. Let's say you say, yesterday I go to the park. Now, is that perfect grammar? No, technically it should be went.
Right.
But does the listener understand your meaning completely? Absolutely yes. There's no confusion. Think about how little kids learn to talk. They say things like, me want juice, or daddy car go. It's not perfect grammar, but everyone understands. They get better over time through speaking.
That's a great comparison.
And it highlights the value of mistakes. Mistakes mean you're trying. They mean you're learning. You're actually using English in real life, not just studying it in a book. Honestly, even native speakers make grammar mistakes in casual conversation all the time. We slip up, we correct ourselves, or we just keep going.
So the key takeaway here is,
Fluent with mistakes is so much better than being silent with perfect grammar theory in your head. Seriously. Speak first, polish the grammar later. Use simple words, try shorter sentences if that helps, and just focus on saying what you want to say. Get the message across.
okay, that's really liberating. Speak first, polish later. I like that. So we're speaking, maybe making a few mistakes, but we're communicating. But how do we start sounding, well, a bit more natural? More like a native speaker might sound, not so robotic.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
That's the next step, isn't it? And this leads perfectly into tip number 2. Learn chunks, not just individual words.
Chunks. Okay, what exactly are chunks?
This idea can honestly change how you approach learning English. Instead of just memorizing single words like busy or help or sure, you learn short phrases or groups of words that naturally go together, things people use constantly in real life. These are chunks.
Can you give some examples of chunks?
Yeah, definitely. So instead of just learning the word busy, you could learn chunks like I'm a bit busy right now, or maybe I've got a lot on my plate, or even I'm swamped today. Those are all chunks that mean busy.
Ah, I see. Like ready-made phrases.
Exactly. That's the huge benefit. When you learn and use chunks, you don't have to build every single sentence from scratch, word by word. That takes a lot of mental energy. The phrase is already there, ready to use.
Okay.
Think about common things like, can I help you? Yeah, I'm not sure. That sounds great. Depends on the situation. How's it going? We don't construct those word by word each time. We just pull out the whole chunk. Using these makes you sound much more natural, much more fluent, and definitely more confident.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So how can our listeners actually find and learn these chunks?
The best way is to listen actively to real conversations. That means podcasts, TV shows, movies, YouTube videos, anything where people are talking naturally. Pay attention not just to new words, but to phrases that seem to come up again and again.
And then?
When you hear a phrase you like or one that seems useful, write it down. And this is important, write down the whole phrase, the whole chunk, not just one key word. So not just back, but I'll get back to you. Not just depends, but it depends on the situation.
Got it. Write the whole thing.
Then say them out loud. Practice them. Record yourself saying them. Ask yourself, okay, can I use this chunk in my life? When could I say this? And then try to use 1 or 2 new chunks each day. Maybe just when you're talking to yourself or if you have a chance to speak with someone.
So it's about active noticing and active using.
Precisely. Don't just build your English word by word. Build it chunk by chunk. It's much faster and sounds way more natural.
Build it chunk by chunk. I love that. Okay, that's a fantastic tip for sounding more natural. But I can almost hear some listeners thinking, okay, that's great, but I don't live in an English-speaking country. I don't know any native speakers to practice with. So what do you do if you genuinely feel like you have no one to talk to?
That is a very common situation and a totally understandable feeling. But here's some really good news and our tip number 3. You don't actually need a partner or a teacher or even a friend right there with you to practice speaking. You can speak to yourself.
Speak to yourself. Okay, that might sound a little strange to some people.
I know, it might feel weird at first, but trust me on this one. This works incredibly well. It's a super effective technique, and the best part, you can do it anytime, anywhere.
Like when? Where?
Seriously, anywhere. At home, when you're cooking or cleaning, in your car, during your commute, when you're out for a walk, even in the shower. There's no schedule needed, there's zero pressure.
Okay, but what would you actually say? I mean, aren't you just talking into the void?
Not at all.
Yeah.
You could start really simply, just describe what you're doing, narrate your actions. Okay, I'm making coffee now. It's raining outside today. I need to remember to buy milk.
So like a running commentary.
Exactly. Or talk about your day, your feelings, your plans. Today I feel a bit tired. I have a meeting at 10:00. I wonder what I should have for dinner tonight. You can ask yourself questions and then answer them. What do I want to do this weekend? Well, maybe I'll go for a hike. You could even, if you're feeling brave, act out short conversations by yourself, playing both parts.
Okay, I can see how that removes the pressure.
Absolutely. When you speak to yourself, you are actively training your brain to find the English words faster. You're building fluency without any stress or fear of judgment. And importantly, you're starting to think in English more naturally.
It's like practice reps for your brain and mouth.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
It's like going to the gym for your English-speaking muscles. And the absolute best part, no one is watching or judging you. You can make tons of mistakes, stop, start again, try different words, and many times you want. It's completely safe practice.
That's a powerful, accessible tool. Okay, so speaking of tools, in today's world, we have some amazing technology right at our fingertips, don't we? So how can AI, artificial intelligence, help us speak better? That's tip number 4, right? Use AI.
Yes, and this tip is becoming more and more relevant and honestly really useful. Tools like ChatGPT or Microsoft's Copilot, or there's one called Pi, which is designed to be a supportive AI assistant. These tools can be fantastic practice partners.
How so? What makes them good partners?
Well, think about it. They are always available 24/7. They are incredibly patient. They will never get tired or annoyed, no matter how many mistakes you make or how slowly you speak. And crucially, they are completely non-judgmental. That fear factor, it's gone.
That's huge. Removing the fear. So how would someone actually use one of these AI tools for speaking practice?
It's actually pretty straightforward to get started. Try one of them out. You can start a simple chat, either by typing or increasingly using voice input. Just say something like, "Hi, I'm learning English. Can we just talk for a bit?" Or maybe something more specific like, "Let's practice having a short conversation in a cafe."
And the AI will just respond.
Yep, it'll respond, and you can just keep the conversation going naturally. Ask questions, give opinions, describe things. It's a safe, really stress-free place to just try out your English.
Can you do more than just chat?
Oh, absolutely. You can ask the AI for help. You could say, "Could you please correct my English as we talk?" Or, "Can you speak more slowly?" and use simpler words with me. It will usually do that. It can explain words you don't understand. It can repeat things. It's like having a tireless tutor.
So you're not just studying grammar rules, you're actually using the language.
Exactly. That's the key difference. You're practicing real conversational turns, you're training your brain to think and respond in English, and you're building that fluency and confidence step by step in a controlled environment. It's a fantastic resource.
Okay, that's brilliant for getting that real-time conversational practice. But what if you want to work specifically on making your speaking smoother, maybe a bit faster, with fewer hesitations? Is there a technique for that kind of focused improvement?
Yes, there is. And that brings us very nicely to tip number 5. Use the 4-3-2 technique. This is a really powerful yet simple technique to help your fluency and your speaking speed grow quite fast.
The 4.32 technique. Okay, sounds intriguing. How does it work?
It's quite structured, which is why it's effective. First, you need to choose a short topic. It could be anything, really a story you heard recently, maybe summarize a podcast episode like this one, or just talk about something interesting that happened in your day. Keep it fairly contained.
Okay, got a topic.
Then what? Right. Then, here's the process.
Step 1.
Step 1. Speak about that topic for 4 minutes straight. Don't worry too much about speed yet. Just try to tell the full story, use lots of details, get everything out, record yourself if you can.
4 minutes. Got it.
Step 2. Take a short break, maybe a minute or two. Then, speak about the exact same topic again, but this time you only have 3 minutes. Now you'll naturally need to speak a little faster, maybe be a bit more concise, organize your thoughts more efficiently.
Okay, same topic, 3 minutes, a bit faster.
Exactly. And finally, step 3. Take another short break and then speak about the same topic one last time, but now for just 2 minutes. By this point, you really need to speak quite smoothly, minimizing long pauses. You know the story well, the words are easier to find, and you can usually say it much more clearly and fluently.
Ah, I see. So the repetition combined with the decreasing time forces you to become more efficient and automatic with the language for that topic.
That's precisely the idea. The more times you tell the same story or explain the same idea, the more automatic your English becomes for that specific content. You don't have to stop and consciously think about vocabulary or sentence structure as much because you've just practiced it. It moves from effortful production to more automatic recall.
And recording yourself helps.
Hugely. If you record each attempt, the 4-minute, 3-minute, and 2-minute versions, and then listen back, you'll likely hear a really noticeable difference. Your final 2-minute version will almost certainly sound stronger, more organized, and much more confident than your first attempt. It's great positive feedback.
That sounds like a fantastic exercise for focused fluency building. Okay, this deep dive has been packed with such practical advice. We're on to our final tip. Tip number 6. How can we become more flexible, maybe more creative, with the English we already have? Move beyond just basic sentences.
This is a great way to round things off, focusing on linguistic flexibility. Tip 6 is, use one sentence in many different ways. The idea is to take just one simple sentence and consciously practice saying it, or variations of it, in lots of different ways. This really helps you think faster on your feet and speak more naturally, showing just how flexible English can be.
Okay, give us an example. Let's take a simple sentence.
All right, let's use a really common one. I went to the store. Super simple, right?
Yep, I went to the store.
Okay, now let's play with it. First, add more detail. I went to the store yesterday to buy some bread. Or, I went to the store because we needed milk. See? More information.
Okay, adding details makes sense.
Next, change the feeling or the nuance. I had to go to the store again, expressing reluctance. Or maybe surprise, I went to the store and guess who I saw there? Or disappointment, I went to the store, but unfortunately it was already closed.
Changing the emotional tone. Nice.
Then consciously change the grammar. Change the tense, I'm going to the store now. Or I've already been to the store today. You could even use a conditional. If I had gone to the store earlier, I wouldn't be hungry now. This is great grammar practice in context.
Right, applying grammar actively.
And finally, change the subject. My sister went to the store, or nobody went to the store, so we had to order food online.
Wow. Okay, just from I went to the store, we got all those variations. That's quite powerful.
It really is. These might seem like small changes, but practicing them helps you learn how to think quickly in English, how to add details spontaneously, how to use different grammar structures naturally in real situations, and how to express different shades of meaning and emotion. That's real fluency in action. You're not just recalling memorized lines. You're actively creating and adapting language.
You're becoming more flexible with the language you have.
Exactly. You're learning to play with the language.
What an incredibly insightful deep dive today. Seriously, we've covered so much ground. We started by understanding that fundamental difference between just understanding English and actually speaking it.
The passive versus active skills.
Right. And then we explored 6 really practical, I think research-informed ways to bridge that gap. The big takeaway seems crystal clear. Speaking English is definitely a skill. And like any skill, it just gets better with practice, consistent practice.
Absolutely. That's the bottom line. It really is about using your voice every day if possible, even in small ways. Don't let that fear of making mistakes hold you back. Try to embrace them as part of the learning process.
Yeah.
Grab onto those useful language chunks. Talk to yourself. It really works. Use AI as your tireless practice buddy. Challenge yourself with the 432 technique to build speed. And yeah, play with sentences to get more flexible. Every little bit counts. Every time you speak, you're training your brain and getting closer to fluency.
Your voice deserves to be heard. I like that. So for all of you, our incredible learners listening right now, here's maybe something to think about as we wrap up. What's one simple speaking tip from today's deep dive that kind of sparked something for you? One thing you feel you could actually try, maybe even starting today?
Good question. Just pick one.
Yeah, just pick one. Start small. But the key is to start. Your voice really does deserve to be heard. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into unlocking your English-speaking voice. We really hope you feel more confident, more empowered, and just, well, ready to start speaking more. Keep speaking, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself.
Keep up the great work.
We look forward to welcoming you back to Podcast English Learning for our next episode. Until then, keep learning and keep practicing.